What's up, YouTube? Today, the Great League is finally back in rotation, and now that I'm done running one team throughout all of the Holiday Little Cup, I decided to start pumping out some more videos. And today we're looking at an ABC style team, and what that means is basically three pretty different typings across, or different type Pokemon across the whole team. But the two back Pokemon should still cover most of the weaknesses of the front Pokemon. And the front Pokemon, if it doesn't have many weaknesses, is pretty easy to cover. So Ferrothorn is weak to Fire and Fighting. It's only got two weaknesses. Fire is obviously a double weakness, but that's why you have two things in the back that can deal with it. And for this team, if you've watched any videos on my channel before, it's the exact same team as the one with Togedemaru, but we're just kind of placing Ferrothorn in, and that is with a safe swap of Gliscor and a closer or back Pokemon of Azumarill. So, and why are we looking at Ferrothorn? I just think it's a pretty good core breaker, and I found that when I just subbed it in for Togedemaru on the last team, the team was suddenly functioning really well. And I've also noticed a lot of the Diggersby Toxapex core, and it just core breaks a lot of teams. So that was kind of why we were looking at it. But yeah, let's just hop right into the videos. Okay, in the lead on the first match we have Azu, so this is a great lead for us. Obviously Bubble and Play Rough are resisted. They come in with Annihilate. I could have come in with either Pokemon here, but I end up coming in with the Gliscor. They actually do have Ice Punch, and they build up to it. Fortunately, I do shield correctly, and then we are able to get the knockout with one Aerial Ace and a few more Sand attacks and come out with a bunch of energy. And now we're just going to go for the harder hitting Earthquake, because they know they can't really shield Azu here because we already can put our Ferrothorn on it. And so I'm just going to build up to another to force them to throw their energy, and they do, so that's good. We haven't forced a shield out of my opponent yet, but they are pretty low. And then it's a Corsola in the back. And so I just come in with Azumarill right away because I want to keep my alignment with the Ferrothorn on their Azu. But unfortunately, Corsola, it's not quite as bulky as Azu, but it does have better pacing and it hits a little bit harder. So this is a very neutral matchup. I do farm up past I Play Rough on the first one, and then I bait with the Ice Beam because I had a feeling they were going to shield the first. And that's just a little bit of a read there. And then I'm just going for the Play Rough right away, making sure I'm throwing before their switch timer is up. And now that my switch timer is up, I'm going to be basically watching for it. I will stay in, force them to throw their energy, but at this point, they undercharge, so I just come in with my Ferrothorn, and I need to let them hit me with a move here and then come out with back-to-back moves loaded, and that way I can force the final shield when they come back with the Corsola. They do let that go. I'm going to go right away for the power-up. This will put them pretty low, but it will not take out because they do have that shield. I'm lagging like crazy. I don't know if you can see that, but they do throw the Nightshade. It doesn't quite take out. I'm not going to get to another move, so I have to switch into the Azumarill. And fortunately, I was on the 5 cycle, but an Ice Beam from this range will take out the Corsola. Looks like my opponent force closed the app, but we still are able to take that win. Into the next match, Diggersby on the lead. So this is an okay lead. Obviously, we're hitting super effective, but I don't really want to take a double super effective Fire Punch. So I do actually come in with Gliscor here. And they're throwing the non-stab Fire Punch, which is neutral on Gliscor. It doesn't do that much damage. And then they come in with Annihilate. And as you saw there, I pressed the Aerial Ace maybe like 5 times, but it didn't register, so that's great. So I'm forced to throw, and it was actually on Stampede. Fortunately, there's no way my opponent's not going to shield this, so it's not really the end of the world. And we can make it to 2 more Aerial Aces before they make it to the next move because they gave me an energy advantage, and they also came into a bad matchup. So we were actually able to flip switch, and they used both their shields there, which is pretty crazy. We do just have the better pacing, so I'm not really sure why they came into that matchup. And now that we flip switch, it's a Toxapex in the back, and Diggersby Toxapex core. Goodbye. Say hello to Ferrothorn on your Toxapex and Azumarill on your Diggersby. So this should be a pretty comfortable win at this point, and my opponent knows that, so they resign the match. Into the next match, Morpeko. This is another good lead, so we probably are going to just stay in this one. They just go for the Psychic Fang, so they're just trying to lower our defense and then switch into the Dark type Morpeko. But fortunately, they actually go for a catch on Ferrothorn, and I come in with Gliscor because this is kind of the only answer I have to Ferrothorn. I can live one Powered Whip, and they will struggle to Bullet Seed me down. Looks like I let an entire Bullet Seed through there, which is pretty unfortunate. So I may be forced to shield this. It looks like I will be. They survive on 1 HP, so yeah, that was a complete mistake on my end. But what are they going to come with now? They have a Feraligatr in the back, so this is good because this means we might actually be able to grab the shield back, but at the cost of shield advantage. I'm not the cost of shield, at an energy advantage on the Feraligatr. And we do maintain switch. We can put the Azumarill onto that Feraligatr, and then they come in with Morpeko. So I'm going to bank that energy. I'm going to come in with my Ferrothorn. They throw the Aura Wheel that is resisted. It didn't say it, but it is resisted. And now we're at the back-to-back Power Whips. So we can throw one of these, and they're not even that close to a move, so I might even throw in good timing here, which I do. Perfect. Able to take this out, so now they're going to be forced to throw a move before they can Shadow Claw down. And we do have a shield, so they need to make it to 2 moves here. And my opponent knows they can't make it to 2 moves before I'm able to make it to a Power Whip. And for that reason, we're able to take that game. So a little bit of a screw up on the fast move timing in that middle match, but it ended up working out. Clodsire. This is another pretty good lead. Obviously, Poison Stings are single resisted here, double resisted on the steel, and single super effective on the grass. We are going to stay in and play this matchup out. There's no shot they bait here, so I'm just going to shield the Earthquake, and that'll make this matchup a little bit easier going forward. One Earthquake doesn't KO, and it also doesn't put me in farm down range, but in case I wanted to take it into the ones, this kind of just secures that I can take lead and switch. So I'm farming up, gonna go for the Power Whip right before they make it to their next move. And this will threaten a knockout. Oh, they actually catch on a Serperius. That's a really nice catch by my opponent. They do make it to the Frenzy here. I can survive it. It will hurt a lot. Yeah, it puts me deep into the red. But I will be able to make it to probably one more Aerial Ace after this one if they do not throw. And it looks like my opponent is not going to throw, so I will make it to another Aerial Ace. They survive this pretty comfortably. Oh, not that comfortably actually. They do flip switch, and then they come in with Clodsire again, so I'm not really sure what my opponent's doing there. They did bank an Aerial Ace or a Frenzy there, so it looks like I'm not going to get to a move, so I'm forced to come in with my Azu here. I have to keep in mind that they do have a Frenzy plant banked, so I basically cannot shield my Azumarill. I am baiting here. Their Feraligatr is their win con. They have to shield it. They do, and that will make it a little bit easier to get to the play rough. And after the next Hydro, yeah, this one will take me out. So I'm probably going to expect a combo play here and switch into my Ferrothorn, which I do, and we catch what is most likely either an Aerial Ace or a Frenzy Plant. It is the Frenzy Plant. We caught the Frenzy, which is huge. It actually takes out double resisted, but we are able to bubble them down, come out with a play rough. This should just about take out the Feraligatr. No, they live on 1 HP, but we were able to bubble down before they even get to 2 Shadow Claws and take us out. So close matchup there, but we were able to read our opponent well and take the win. Into the next match, we have a Drifblim. Drifblim is a core breaker for sure. It has a good matchup into both our Ferrothorn and our Gliscor. Fortunately, they don't throw right away, and they let me get to a Thunderbolt, but unfortunately, they do get the full farm down as well. They only build up to an Icy Wind here, I'm pretty sure, so I can just no-shield that. And then they come in with a Gastrodon. So this is a pretty good matchup for our Gliscor, obviously double resisting those Mud Slaps. And they can only go for those non-stab body slams on a 4-3-4-3 cycle. I will get to the Earthquake. They're probably not going to shield this. They're probably going to run with what's in the back, but no, they actually do shield this, even though this is a really bad matchup for the Gastrodon. One body slam does not threaten a KO, and they will not be able to Mud Slap me down. And maybe they could, but this time I'm just going to go for an Aerial Ace because at this point I just want to get some damage done, and I can probably get to another if they don't. And then they shield, and then they switch into Marowak in the back, so I have no idea what my opponent is doing. They're making all the wrong shielding plays in this matchup. And I know at this point Azu is my win con, so I'm just going to shield this, bubble them down. We still have a shield remaining. All they have is a low HP Gastrodon and a Drifblim at 1 HP, so they just resign the match. And the Masked Asian in the next match, he is a very, very strong competitor. This is someone who is known just for their GBL prowess, so this is really cool seeing him. They're leading Drapion. I originally stayed in with the Ferrothorn, and then I decided to come in with Azu because their energy. So Poison Stings were resistant on Ferrothorn, so I took the Poison Stings. And then I come in with Azu, and then take the resisted charge moves, only Crunch and Aqua Tail, assuming they're not running Sludge Bomb. Looks like a little bit of lag, but they're still there, so works out. They're not switching out of this matchup though, which does make me think that they are weak to the Azu in the back, and they are. They've got a they've got a Diggersby in the back, and we simultaneously switch Gliscor. They get off a Fire Punch. And I do full send the Earthquake here. Pretty sure they're not going to shield this. So I do full send, yep. And we do connect with that. Do I want to take switch? I do. Especially because these sand attacks would do a lot to the Drapion. So I am going to farm up, take them out with the Aerial Ace here. And then it's Annihilate in the back. So we bank the Aerial Ace, come in with Azu, force their energy. And now we just need to see if we can get to 2 moves on Ferrothorn to force both these shields. Because we have that Aerial Ace loaded. No point in throwing it, especially when they have got 2 shields remaining. We got to see if we can grab these shields first. Fortunately, we do grab 1 shield with the first Power Whip. They are going to counter me down. I'm pretty low at this point, but I will make it to another move. I just have to be wary of a catch here. So I wait the turn, make sure I see the counter go through, and now I just gotta pray that my opponent does not predict the switch or does not know we banked energy, and they don't. So we actually snipe with the Aerial Ace. This should take out. That is huge. Boosted Annihilate gone. Get those sand attacks, but they do get a nice amount of Poison Stings there. And unfortunately, they make it to another Crunch. They were 1 HP from being taken out. Bullet Seed just didn't take it out because it was resisted. And unfortunately, first loss of the video to the Masked Asian, so that's okay. We take that. Into what I believe is the final match of the video, maybe last 2. We've got a Greninja here. So this is obviously a great lead. They can only go for Night Slashes, and we're hitting for super effective damage. I wait the turn, and I still get caught on. I don't know if my opponent also waited the turn. If they did, that was an incredible play. Double resist on the Ariados. Fortunately, I have a great response for Ariados in Gliscor. And they do land the Trailblaze, but at this point I'm just going to farm up as much as I can, go for the Aerial Ace before they make it to their next move. This should take out the Ariados, and it does. Are they going to come back in with their lead, or are they going to come in with their third? They are going to come in with the Greninja. We're going to get off another Aerial Ace here. If they want to preserve their Greninja, they're going to have to shield this. This would do a lot of damage. And they're also going to have to throw, which they do. So this will take us out, and at this point, they've got a lot of energy, so yeah, I'm just going to come in Azu here, and I'm just going to soak up the energy. I should get a free bubble there. I don't. One turn lag, it's in literally every game. And then it's a Gliscor in the back, so I think I'm just going to stay in this matchup. Because they already threw one of their moves, and they still don't have a great matchup into our Ferrothorn now with the Greninja. So farming up, going to go for the Ice Beam. They didn't even farm up to the Earthquake, so I didn't shield the first. And at this point, I can just go for the full bubble down, or not full bubble down, but I can just shield, throw the Ice Beam, making sure I throw it before the switch timer is back up. Yep, so throwing it right away, that's perfect. Because they were probably almost at another Aerial Ace, that takes out, so now I'm just going to come back in with the Ferrothorn, and all we got to do is make it to one move. My opponent is throwing, but one Night Slash will not take out from this range. Or a Hydro Cannon definitely won't take out from this range, that is resisted. Get off this Power Whip, and we will take that game. So yeah, that was the team. It was honestly a pretty mediocre team at best. I felt like it didn't perform as well as I would have liked to. I think also first day of Great League being back, a lot of people are running unconventional teams, just trying things out still. So it's a little bit harder to predict. But there are some people running hard meta, and this team does do pretty well into hard meta. Even though Sand-Attack Gliscor and Ferrothorn are a little bit more niche off-meta picks, they still play pretty well into what the current meta is. And then Azu, of course, is super meta. But yeah, this team was very, very strong, and yeah, had a pretty good win rate with it. I think it was really cool seeing some really strong players. I know it's pretty early in the season, so especially in the games where I'm up near 2,400 win leaderboards or 2,500, you're going to see some really good players in these matchups. But yeah, that's the team. That's the video. If you're watching this on Christmas and you celebrate, Merry Christmas. If not, Happy Holidays, and I hope you check out more videos in the future. So until next time, peace.